will cook.
We'll hear from the K-Chess who appear to be on a warpath with Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah. In politics, NPP directive to bar MMDCs from contesting sitting MPs during the party's upcoming primaries has been criticized by governance watchers. Political analysts want the decision rescinded.
You allow everybody who is legally qualified to stand for election and compete. That is the way to go. But if you want to prevent others, I am afraid you are going to incur the wrath of the party, and the whole machinery at the base of the party will come at them.
And on the international front, under fire, former U.S. President Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 34 criminal charges in historic case. You want to stay with us, we have details. Thank you for joining us. This morning, there are calls for a massive crackdown on crime in Boko a day after gunmen attacked 3 immigration officers there. One of them died in the attack and 2 others remain in hospital battling for their lives. The latest incident has reignited concerns about the heightening level of crime in the Boko area as conflicts continue to tear the residents apart. Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Yariga, has condemned the incident and called for a thorough probe into the latest disturbances. An outraged Upper East Regional Minister Stephen Yakubu has tasked the security agencies to fish out the perpetrators as soon as possible.
We are still trying to find out where they targeted, why these 3 individuals, the person know them. The security service is trying very hard to get to the bottom of it, and we will get to the bottom of it. And then the perpetrators will be caught and brought to justice. I have tasked my security couples to make sure that we get to the bottom of the matter and arrest whoever did this heinous crime.
Stephen Yakubu is the Upper East Regional Minister, also the Regional Security Council Chair. While that probe is underway, many are calling for a comprehensive assessment of a security situation in troubled Boko to prevent loss of more lives. You recall, members of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament only last month aborted a fact-finding mission to the area following sporadic gunshots and threats of harm. For security analysts with the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Victor Docker, the cause of the youth agitations and recurrent strife must be re-examined to find a lasting solution.
It's a kind of wave sort of sweeping across that these youths who have in their possession illegal weapons can now challenge authority, the state authority. So if they feel aggrieved, then they take up these arms and then perpetrate these kind of crimes. However, the aspect of the state security in their duties, they have to ensure that the areas where they are doing their operations, they have proper intelligence. It is a known fact there's a proliferation of weapons in that area. So you need to be very careful as a security personnel.
Security analyst with the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Victor Docker there. Residents have been thrown into a state of shock. Economic activities have ground to a halt and many people fear for their lives. This morning, the high-powered delegation from the Ghana Immigration Service is visiting the Boko Enclave and the sector command to review the security situation in relation to operations of the immigration officers there. A statement signed by Head of Public Affairs of the Ghana Immigration Service, Chief Superintendent Michael Amakwata, has condemned the dastardly attack and reassured all personnel of the necessary measures to ensure their safety. Let's head to the Ashanti region now, where school children who depend on government school feeding program for their meals will have a tough time today in school. This is because the caterers in the region have suspended their services a day after a banter with the Ashanti regional minister. The aggrieved caterers in the governing New Patriotic Party's stronghold have been protesting the current 97 Peswa feeding grant and long-standing arrears. Listen to Dorothy Amako, she's leader of the group.
Waiting for the next payment and the increment as well. And we also want to hear from our gender ministry. What is the new development? What are they going to tell us? What are we expecting? What should we expect? So without that, I don't think we will cook.
The Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah, who was captured in a viral video appearing to snap the agitating caterers who besieged his office to present a petition, has been reacting to the action by the aggrieved caterers.
We must be truthful to ourselves and stop pampering people. The
impunity is too much. I sympathize with them. I will not be happy for the government to owe me for maybe months when maybe I borrowed and interest is accruing and maybe I cannot even feed my family. But we should not use illegality to solve problems. In this country, if you want to demonstrate, you go and inform the police before you embark on demonstration. You don't just get out and start demonstrating. We are not in a lawless country.
Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Semmens and the Caterers have not taken kindly to the utterances of the regional minister and have subsequently suspended cooking services. Let's head to the courts now because a new trial judge assigned by the Chief Justice to take over the case involving former Cocoa Board CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni and others has decided to restart the entire case. Justice Kwesi Anochijima was assigned to take over the case following the retirement of Justice Clemens Honyenuga, who was handling the matter. Justice Jima refused to admit proceedings from the previous court that handled the case since 2018. He subsequently directed on Tuesday, April 4, that parties to the case file all witness statements by Friday, April 21. The court is expected to reconstitute for case management conference on Tuesday, April 25. Dr. Opuni and Seidu Agongo are facing 27 charges, including defrauding by false pretenses, willfully causing financial loss to the state, money laundering, corruption by public officers, and contravention or Public Procurement Act. They have both pleaded not guilty to the charges and are on a 300,000 cedi self-recognizance bail each. On to some politics. Political analyst Dr. Asasante has urged the new patriotic party to immediately drop a directive barring executives of MMDCEs from contesting incumbent members of parliament. According to the National Council of the party, the directive is a way of protecting their seats. Henry Nana Boakye is national organizer of the MPP.
We wanted to avoid any rancor, any division, any infighting, because when you consider the MMDCs, they are in the constituencies. They even manage the MP's common fund. So as a party, if we want to go that line, it means that we'll be creating a problem between the MP, the MMDCs, and the constituency party.
You heard the Henry Nana Boakye here is national organizer of the MPP. Well, this has been met with mixed reactions, and for political science analyst Dr. Asasante, the directive should be rejected.
They are going to make sure that they sabotage the party, and then it's going to create a problem for them. So I don't think this idea will inure to the benefit of a party which is eager to break their eight. I'm afraid to say this, but this is going to cause them a lot of problems. You allow everybody who is legally qualified to stand for election and compete. That is the way to go. But if you want to prevent others, I am afraid you are going to incur the wrath of the party, and the whole machinery at the base of the party will come at them. I can assure them. I can tell them without fear of contradiction. So they must run away quickly from this idea.
Dr. Kwame Asasante is a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. Let's also stay with the MPP because Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is set to begin full campaign for the governing New Patriotic Party flag bearership race for election 2024. A post cited by 3 News Tuesday evening on his Facebook handle has the Ghana and MPP flags with an inscription, "It is possible," and we will be keeping our eyes on the team of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and update you as and when the full-scale campaign kicks in. You will hear. And let's cross over to the camp of the NDC because vetting of parliamentary aspirants of the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, John Dumelo and his entertainment industry colleague Fred Nyama once again did not come off on Tuesday as scheduled. The duo and other aspirants are expected to be heard today as the party closes the chapter on the vetting exercise in the Greater Accra region, and we will keep our eyes on that exercise as well. Now, 2 organized labor unions insist the payroll monitoring by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is a complete waste of government funds and other resources. To the Health Services Workers Union and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Ghana, it is a duplication of function as similar exercises have already been conducted by the Finance Ministry and the Controller and Accountant General's Department. The exercise is to check payroll fraud and also reduce government wage bill of 15.2 billion cedis expended on over 700,000 public sector workers. Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, Dr. Eric Ujosan, has cited the education and health sector payrolls as overbloated.
There are people who go on sabbatical and some never returns. Some go on steady leave with pay. After graduation, they fail to return, but have their names on the payroll. Some of them do not even come to work. There are instances where you have people who have been employed in the public sector. They go and their bosses ask them to stay at home because they don't have places to sit. So these people are at home. Government is paying them.
You heard the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, Dr. Ojo Sanwo, General Secretary of the Health Services Workers Union, Franklin Owusu-Ansah, also reacting to the issue, cautioned against mistakenly deleting names of workers, dismissing claims that some staff are receiving undeserved salaries and allowances. Just before we go, in the United States of America, former U.S. President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony charges during a court hearing in New York. The former president was accused of falsifying records to conceal crimes in the almost hour-long hearing. Judge Juan Merchan did not issue a gag order, but asked both sides to be mindful of their language and rhetoric. Trump, running for presidency in 2024, will be released on bail and plans to return to Florida sometime later. If you log on to 3news.com, you find a lot more stories there. I am Komla Adom. Have a good morning.